is interesting. We've got a volcano near Anchorage, Alaska right now that could be ready to go. Researchers say hundreds of small earthquakes have happened over the last 10 months.
What if the calm landscapes of the Pacific coast weren't calm at all? What if the mountains we've come to admire were merely masks, quiet disguises for something far more volatile? From the icy coastlines of Alaska to the blistering heat of the California desert, something ancient is stirring beneath North America's west coast. Volcanoes, dormant, active, awakening, each of them hiding a story. Scientists are only beginning to piece together. But what happens when that story turns into a warning? Let's begin our journey at the top of the continent and make our way south. Following the same fault lines and magma chambers, scientists are now watching with growing concern. You won't believe what they've discovered. Augustine Volcano, Alaska. Rising from the sea like a mythic beast, Augustine Volcano sits alone on an island in Cook Inlet, southwest of Anchorage. Its isolation gives it an eerie presence, like a sentinel from another age. But make no mistake, it is anything but dormant. When it erupted in 2006, the effects rippled far beyond its lonely shores. Hundreds of flights across southern Alaska were grounded, cargo shipments were delayed, and communities as far away as Homer and Anchorage were blanketed in fine ash. Schools closed, roads disappeared under a thin gray veil. The air turned acrid, heavy with the scent of sulfur. Fast forward to early 2025, and the alarms began to ring again, quietly at first. Seismic monitors picked up a series of deep tremors beneath the volcano, low and rhythmic, like a heartbeat. Then came the gas. Hydrogen sulfide, a telltale sign of magma movement, started seeping through old fissures in the earth. Locals reported the sharp, rotten egg smell drifting across the water, carried by the wind. Soon after, fumaroles, steam vents around the volcano's summit, began to glow hotter, hissing with new intensity. Temperatures climbed, gas emissions surged. Augustine was waking up. The Alaska Volcano Observatory has now raised its alert level from normal to advisory. They've increased surveillance with satellite imagery, drone flyovers, and thermal sensors. Scientists are watching closely for deformation, any swelling or tilting of the volcano's flanks that might signal magma on the move. And here's the chilling part. Augustine is unpredictable. Past eruptions have offered little warning. The 1986 blast came after just weeks of subtle signs. Experts now warn that a similar timeline could be playing out again. So the question remains, not if Augustine will erupt, but when. Will it give us time to act, or will the skies darken without warning once again? Mount Spurr, Alaska. West of Anchorage looms another colossus, Mount Spurr. Silent since 1992, it has stood like a sleeping titan, cloaked in snow and shadow, a distant memory for many Alaskans. But that memory stirred back to life in late 2023, when satellites registered something disturbing, a thermal surge directly beneath the summit crater. The data was clear. Temperatures were rising fast, and the heat wasn't diffusing, it was concentrating. Geologists, initially skeptical, decided not to wait. They dispatched reconnaissance drones equipped with infrared cameras and gas sensors. What they found was nothing short of alarming. Newly formed cracks glowing from within, small plumes of steam venting at odd intervals, and an uptick in sulfur dioxide emissions, clear signs of volcanic unrest. The surface wasn't just hot, it was alive, pulsing like the volcano was breathing in its sleep. Beneath the crust, they suspect, magma is on the move. One theory gaining traction is that a magma chamber, long sealed after the 1992 eruption, may be recharging. If that's true, then Mount Spurr is no longer dormant, it's reawakening. And this isn't just a local concern. When Spurr last erupted, it coated aircraft in ash as far away as Canada. Anchorage, a city of over 290,000 people, now sits squarely in the direct path of potential fallout. Its airport, Ted Stevens International is a vital Pacific hub, one that would be instantly shut down by volcanic ash. Imagine the ripple effects: canceled flights, supply chain disruption, public evacuations, and then there's the health risk. Volcanic ash isn't just dust, it's microscopic glass. Breathing it in can scar lungs for life. So the question isn't if Mount Spurr erupts again, it's when and whether we'll be ready. Mount Redoubt, Alaska. If Mount Spurr is the quiet one in Alaska's volcanic family, Redoubt is its volatile sibling, the wild card. Towering over the western side of Cook Inlet, Mount Redoubt has a reputation that keeps geologists on edge. In 2009, it erupted with such unexpected ferocity that trans-Pacific flights were canceled for days. Ash soared 60,000 feet into the air, higher than most commercial airliners fly, drifting across airways and disrupting global aviation routes. Anchorage, Alaska's largest city, was cloaked in falling ash. Businesses shut down, hospitals prepared for respiratory emergencies. It was a wake-up call from the Earth itself. And now, 15 years later, Redoubt may be preparing to act again. But this time, the signals are stranger. In mid-2024, scientists at the Alaska Volcano Observatory, in collaboration with university researchers, used deep Earth tomography, a technique similar to a geological ultrasound, to peer beneath Redoubt's rugged peak. What they found stunned them: a second magma conduit forming several kilometers below the surface. Unlike the single channel that fed the 2009 eruption, this second pathway appears to be connecting to a broader, more complex magma reservoir system. This discovery raises alarming new questions. Is Redoubt simply refilling after its last eruption? Or is it evolving into something more dangerous? A dual conduit system could mean a prolonged, lower-intensity eruption, or the setup for a highly pressurized, explosive event. No one can say for certain. What's clear is that Redoubt is changing, and not in ways we fully understand. Adding to the mystery, Redoubt has never been generous with its warnings. Its 2009 eruption followed a brief period of activity, catching even seasoned experts off guard. If history repeats, we may not have the luxury of time. The question is no longer just about eruption, but about what kind of eruption is coming and when. Mount Meager, British Columbia. North of Vancouver, where wilderness swallows the road and mountains rise like frozen giants, lies Mount Meager, a volcano forgotten by most, but feared by the few who know its story. In 2023, tremors began. Then came the smell, sulfur in the air. What followed was even more troubling: melting ice, minor landslides, and cracks widening across snow-covered slopes. Sensors confirmed the truth. Gases were escaping, and something deep below was shifting. Mount Meager's last eruption, 2,400 years ago, was the largest Canada has seen in 10,000 years. Today, scientists say its flanks are unstable. If this mountain falls, it may not be fire that destroys the valley, but a catastrophic landslide that moves faster than we can run. Mount Garibaldi, British Columbia. Further south, nestled above the thriving towns of Squamish and Whistler, Mount Garibaldi sits like a sleeping sentinel. It hasn't erupted in millennia, but something's changing. In 2024, a drone flight picked up geothermal anomalies, hot patches in a place that should be cold. These weren't flukes, they were signals. Beneath its scenic face, Garibaldi harbors ice, rock, and magma, all precariously balanced, and nearby towns are growing. Highways run beneath it. Lives are being built on land that scientists now realize is far more volatile than previously believed. What if Garibaldi isn't done? What if it's just getting started? Mount Baker, Washington. Crossing into the United States, we arrive at Mount Baker, a snow-capped beauty just miles from the Canadian border. Tourists see a postcard. Scientists see a threat. In 2024, Sherman Crater released new gases: sulfur, carbon dioxide, both signs of rising magma. Ground sensors picked up tremors, not large, not frequent, but too regular to ignore. What scares experts most isn't just the lava, it's the ice. Mount Baker is loaded with it, and if lava meets glacier, lahars, deadly rivers of mud, could race down into the valleys below. Cities could be cut off in minutes. The countdown doesn't start when lava appears. It starts now. Glacier Peak, Washington. Glacier Peak is the ghost of the Cascades. Hidden in the North Cascades wilderness, it's Washington's most explosive volcano and the least understood. In 2023, ice-penetrating radar revealed caves beneath its icy shell, warmed from within by volcanic heat. It was a quiet warning. Glacier Peak is not dead. Far from it. Very few know how to reach it. Even fewer know how to monitor it. And if it erupts, the people in its path may not hear a thing until it's too late. You're watching a hidden monster, and it's waking up. Mount Rainier, Washington. Mount Rainier is the heavyweight, towering over Seattle. It's the tallest peak in the Cascades, and the most feared. In late 2024, scientists recorded subtle but significant heat increases beneath the summit. No eruption sign yet, but that's not what keeps experts awake. Rainier's glaciers sit like loaded guns. A minor vent or quake could unleash walls of mud traveling 60 miles an hour. The Puyallup Valley, home to tens of thousands, lies directly in the path. It doesn't take a full eruption, just a crack, a shift, a moment, and then disaster. Mount Street, Helens, Washington. Mount St. Helens, perhaps the most infamous of them all. Its 1980 eruption tore away half a mountain and redefined what Americans thought a volcano could do. Since then, it's remained active, quietly. In 2024, new radar imaging showed inflation on the crater floor. The volcano is refilling. It's like watching someone inhale, one USGS scientist said. Eventually, they exhale. The Earth is breathing. The question is, when does it scream? Mount Adams, Washington. Massive, brooding, and mostly forgotten, Mount Adams lies east of Rainier, its icy ridges hiding secrets older than any local memory. Thermal sensors recently revealed warming beneath its southern flank. Not enough to alarm the public, but enough to get scientists talking. Could Adams be part of a broader regional reactivation? If multiple volcanoes stir at once, could they influence each other? And now, before we continue to Oregon and California's most dangerous giants, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell, because what's coming next might be the most important part of the story. Mount Hood, Oregon. Just east of Portland, Mount Hood stands like a majestic crown on Oregon's skyline. Hikers climb its flanks, snowboarders carve down its slopes, but deep beneath the powder and pine, something ancient stirs. In late 2023, air samples revealed a concerning trend, a quiet but persistent increase in volcanic gases, carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide, leaking through the rock. Scientists say this is a hallmark of a magma system slowly rebuilding its pressure. Mount Hood hasn't erupted in over 150 years, but it's still classified as potentially active, and the real danger may not be fire. It's mud, ice caps, and glaciers sitting atop the peak like a loaded weapon could melt rapidly and unleash catastrophic lahars into the valleys below. What if the next eruption isn't about lava at all? What if it's about everything else crashing down? Mount Jefferson, Oregon. Hidden within Oregon's rugged interior is Mount Jefferson, a towering, jagged peak of stunning beauty and chilling silence. No confirmed eruptions have occurred in modern times, but that doesn't mean the mountain is dead. In 2024, researchers measuring groundwater in nearby forests made an unsettling discovery: traces of volcanic gases, hydrogen sulfide and radon, leaking upward from deep within the crust. These weren't natural hot springs. These were emissions from something deeper, hotter, more primal. Jefferson has flown under the radar for too long. If it reawakens, there would be no local warning system in place, no immediate evacuation plan. Could this forgotten volcano be Oregon's most underestimated threat? Three Sisters, Oregon. South of Jefferson, a trio of volcanic siblings rises over central Oregon. North Sister, Middle Sister, and the most infamous, South Sister. For the past 2 decades, South Sister has been rising, literally. The ground has been lifting, bulging outward like a balloon. In 2024, over 240 earthquakes rattled the area in just 6 weeks. GPS confirmed it. Magma is pushing upward. The ground is breathing, a local geophysicist said, and each breath is getting stronger. South Sister hasn't erupted in 2,000 years, but all signs suggest it's getting ready to. The uplift zone is just 3 miles from a major highway and within reach of Bend, one of Oregon's fastest growing cities. Are we witnessing the early stages of an eruption cycle or something far more complex? Crater Lake / Mount Mazama, Oregon. In southern Oregon lies one of the most surreal and haunting landscapes in North America, Crater Lake. It's not just a lake, it's the flooded remains of a collapsed volcano, Mount Mazama, which blew itself apart 7,700 years ago in a cataclysm so violent it changed global weather patterns. For years, scientists believed the volcano was extinct, but recent sonar scans in 2023 challenged that idea. Strange bulges have been detected beneath the lake's crystal blue surface, domes that appear to be forming slowly from below. Could Mount Mazama be rebuilding? Underwater sensors also detected faint volcanic tremors, not strong, not obvious, but real. What if this lake isn't just a window into the past, but a preview of the future? Mount McLoughlin, Oregon. Quiet, majestic, undisturbed. Mount McLoughlin hasn't erupted in thousands of years, and most Oregonians don't even know it's a volcano. But in 2023, a flyover revealed something strange: elevated surface temperatures near the summit, just enough to catch scientists off guard. Subtle, but unnatural. Something is warming this ancient cone. McLoughlin may not erupt tomorrow, or next year, or even in the next century, but it's not dead. The heat from the Earth's core doesn't forget. Medicine Lake Volcano, California. Crossing into Northern California, just east of Mount Shasta, lies the Medicine Lake Volcano, a shield-shaped monster that's deceptively quiet. Its last eruption happened over 1,000 years ago, but scientists say it's far from asleep. In 2023, seismic imaging revealed a massive low-density zone beneath the caldera, evidence of partially molten rock. The reservoir beneath is wide, hot, and rising slowly. Most Californians worry about earthquakes. Few realize that this sleeping volcano could one day unleash lava flows that stretch for miles. Are we ignoring one of the largest volcanoes in California simply because it doesn't look like a threat? Mount Shasta, California. It dominates the northern sky like a sentinel. Mount Shasta is the second tallest volcano in the Cascades, and arguably the most dangerous in California. In 2024, geophysical surveys detected a branching magma system extending deep beneath the Earth. These branches weren't dormant, they were active, shifting, pressurized. Experts say Shasta is locked and loaded. A minor eruption could disrupt air routes, cut power lines, and endanger thousands living in its shadow. The last time it erupted, in the late 1700s, few lived nearby. Today, towns dot its flanks, highways weave around it, tourists hike its trails. When it erupts again, and scientists say it will, there won't be weeks of warning. Lassen Peak, California. Lassen was the last Cascade volcano to erupt before Mount St. Helens. Helens, and its 1915 blast was captured in some of the earliest eruption photography in American history. Today, the peak still hisses and steams. Boiling mud pots and fumaroles bubble and churn, while volcanic gases rise from cracks in the ground. In 2023, sulfur dioxide emissions spiked. That means new magma is likely venting gases as it rises. The plumbing is still working, a USGS scientist explained. We're just waiting to see how much pressure builds up behind it. Long Valley Caldera, California. Near the ski resort town of Mammoth Lakes lies a hidden monster, the Long Valley Caldera. A massive volcanic depression. It exploded 760,000 years ago in one of the largest eruptions in North American history. But this isn't ancient history. Satellite data in 2024 showed new uplift along the southern rim of the caldera. Deep below, magma is still pooling, shifting, migrating. Long Valley is a supervolcano, and while it may not explode with the fury of Yellowstone, even a moderate eruption here could bury cities in ash and blanket the air for weeks. Are we underestimating the next chapter in this ancient caldera's story? Coso Volcanic Field, California. Deep in the eastern Sierra lies a field of geothermal energy, one of the most powerful in the state. This is the Coso Volcanic Field, where energy companies harness the Earth's heat to power the grid. But recently, geologists found that the source of that power may be changing. In 2023, magma fingerprints, chemical signals indicating new intrusions, were detected rising toward the surface. Magma is on the move, and no one knows how quickly it's coming. Could Coso's silent energy field become California's next explosive event? Salton Buttes, California. Our journey ends at the edge of the Salton Sea, where cracked earth, blistering heat, and chemical smells hint at something far more dangerous than drought. The Salton Buttes are a series of lava domes that last erupted less than 2,000 years ago, and according to the USGS, they are very much alive. In 2024, CO2 emissions surged. Ground sensors picked up strange harmonic tremors, signatures often associated with magma movement. The area also lies near the southern tip of the San Andreas Fault. Could an earthquake awaken something beneath? The desert may seem lifeless, but under the salt and sand, a fire is rising. 21 volcanoes, hundreds of warning signs, thousands of unanswered questions. They sit silently for years, decades, even centuries, until they don't. What scientists are finding now is clear. The West Coast is not a line of sleeping giants. It's a chain of ticking clocks. So what happens when the countdown hits zero? Tell us in the comments, which volcano worries you the most? Subscribe to stay updated on Earth's hidden dangers and scientific discoveries. Like the video if you want to see more real stories from beneath the surface. Because this isn't just about the ground we walk on, it's about what lies beneath.